Hello, welcome along to this video. I'm going to give you a basic overview of how to get started inside MigrationWiz. This is meant for people that haven't used MigrationWiz before and are just starting out on their migration journey with this tool. I'm going to show you how to set up your account and how to start off some of these projects and just basically how to navigate around the console and get to grips with things. Obviously, we have different videos for the more in-depth items like setting up the projects, which I would obviously want you to look at after you've seen this. But this is really about, as I say, getting started and creating that initial account and accessing the console from the beginning. So the first thing we're going to do here is go to the sign-in page. And you can see here that we don't have a BitTitan account, so we are going to do the register for free. Now, obviously, yes, accounts are free to get started. We are only required to pay for anything when we purchase licenses, so you can get set up beforehand. So we're going to put in some details here. We're going to use one of our test users here, the Buck Rogers in the Cozy Mouse domain. I'll put his details in here. As you can see, you just filled that in quickly and we press Create Account. Now what it will do is it will send us a link to the email, which is where we then get to go and set up the password. So if I go into his email, there you can see it's turned up. And here we are, confirm the email address and confirm the account basically. So we'll click on that link. And that will do that and allow us to set a password, which I'll do now. Typing that in, and yes, obviously we need to agree to the terms and conditions, which will then set password. Once we've done that, it's going to log us straight in, and we get presented with this first screen, which you'll obviously get very used to as you start using the MigrationWiz product. The other little beep in the background is just to tell us that we have changed our password, which is this one as well. So looking at this start screen, you can see the start migrating now is actually going to take us into the project screen. Obviously, we have no projects there, so it'll be a pretty blank one, but I'll show you that in a minute. But we also have the links to the Help Center. Now, these are quite important for all the information you need about getting started with any of the projects. And if you are in the middle of a project, you need help with something, there's your Help Center, all the articles in there. So I'll come back to that in a minute and show you about that. But what it does do is it creates you a standard workgroup based on your name, which you can obviously change the name of. The work group, as you'll notice in another video which we have on there talking about how we share projects and things, the work group is really your entire, like your sandbox environment for what you're migrating. You can have access to other people's work groups and share projects, but that's a bit more advanced for this. We'll just keep it in the single work group for this demonstration. But what we also have here is the recent projects that you've been working on. So it's like a quick and easy one to get into previous stuff. You can see it's unable to find any because we don't have any. We need to create a new one. And it talks about recently completed migrations and the failed migrations. If you have any, they start to show up here as well. It also shows us on this side what the active migrations we currently have and licenses. How many licenses do we have and the link to purchase them if you need to. So it really is, it's a bit of a dashboard on really what's going on. Obviously, this is a brand new one, so it's very empty right now. But let's go in and have a look at the creation of a project and see how that works. So if we say start migrating now, you can see there's the project screen and we have nothing available in this workgroup as yet. So these are the different types of projects, the migration ones or the hybrid projects. There's nothing there. So we've got the create project button here, which is the same. If I will go back up with this arrow here, back up here to create project, it takes us to exactly the same place, which is this screen. So here you get to choose what type of project you want to be doing. So we've got mailbox projects. These are the most common. These are the moving from Exchange on-prem or 365 tenant to tenant, even Google G Suite, and even Lotus Notes. We still support those. So you can migrate from those into the Microsoft 365 or back out to Google or back out to Exchange on-prem if you need to. You can specify what the endpoints are and obviously configure your migration project accordingly. Document projects are things like SharePoint and OneDrive for Business, Google Drive, and also we've got the new ones in there for Google Sites going into SharePoint sites. Really, it's talking about the data that's behind the scenes for documents that is not part of a mailbox. So that's what a document project is. Then we've got things like the public folders that you can have from either on-prem or 365 to another instance, personal archives like the PSTs and archive mailboxes and the like. Collaboration projects are teams. So if we're migrating one team from another into another 365 tenant, that's where you want to be from here. And then you've got the hybrid exchange. If you're managing a hybrid instance, there's a hybrid management project you can have there as well. Now I'm going to look at the Help Center articles, and we can access it from this screen here. It's always available at the top in this toolbar, or obviously from that front screen as well. But if we hit the Help button here, we can say Help Center, and that will show us the main entry screen. So we can say, what do we want to be doing here? We're getting started. We want to perform a migration, submit a support ticket. So if we say getting started, we can learn a little bit about how things work. And you can see here, getting started, setting up migration, setting up the accounts, and things like that. So if we were to say getting started with migrations, it's going to take you through a similar sort of thing. And it really does give you a welcome screen, how to manage your account, how to register, which is obviously what I've just done, and how to get started in there. But what I want to look at in here is if I go to the next one here, is if we go to the Help Center and perform a migration. Let's suppose we're doing a Microsoft 365 tenant-to-tenant migration. Just close that one out. And we want to know how we want to be doing that. What you want to look at here on the perform migrations is in our different sections. We'd say 365 migration, and we want to go Exchange Online to Office 365 mailbox in here. And you can see there's all our different articles about how to get things done. So we choose this one down here. And that will show us really a step-by-step walkthrough of everything that we need to do, preparing the source, creating the accounts, doing all of it. So really you want to be running through these and reading all of this to then get started on these migrations. Now, obviously, we have other videos in the system there which talk about each one of these projects in a lot more detail. What I want to show you here is really just how to look up these items through the Help Center and how to get yourself started inside these projects. So really, the Help Center is an awesome resource for everything you need to know about setting up any type of project inside the BitTitan system. So what I'm going to do though, I'm just going to open up another window which has a different logon that I've been using for some active projects. And if we look at those, you'll see there's my status screen of my standard work group. And you can see I've got plenty of projects on the go here, lots of statuses, lots of things happening. And if I were to go into, say, go to my projects, I'll see all those listed. And then I can look at what the source, what the destination is, and really how these projects are looking. I can then go into each individual one, and you'll see the very, very normal screen that you'll get very, very used to is this type of thing where you have the source and the destination and the status, how much it's done, and obviously errors and things like that. So you'll get very used to how this works. But the toolbars at the top are very, very similar. They're obviously unique to each project, but they are similarly laid out in terms of kicking things off and looking at the status. But the important thing to know is that everything is laid out in a very similar fashion for whatever type of project you're running. So once you get used to doing a mailbox project, you're going to be halfway there with doing a OneDrive migration because the layout is going to be very similar. The concepts are going to be the same. So when you use this little button here to run up to the projects, you can see there's all your ones that are listed in there. So really, that's a pretty quick look at how things are laid out inside MigrationWiz. You can see here. But what I really wanted to show you was just how to get started, create that account, and look at these statuses and really see what this overall dashboard really looks like. Please check out the other videos that talk about how to create individual projects of the different types. There's plenty of them available that we have for you to view. And please direct any questions at the help desk. Have a look at the articles first, obviously, but if you can't work it out, more than happy to help you through those help desk functions. So once again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.